Sit. Duke. Stay. Stay. Down. Down. Good boy. Good boy. That's it. Was that good? Okay. So morning all. This is the first bit of filming I've managed to do this morning on the way back, purely because Duke was being a dick and went after a couple of runners, so he had to go on the lead for the first part. The runners weren't too unhappy, only probably because they got PBs after the little sprints they had to do during part of their journey. Yeah, Duke being a right cock. But anyway, so one of my mates back from the UK, from school days and football days, Ian, asked me about my opinions on training splits in terms of full body workouts versus split workouts across the week, and what's best, or what I deem as optimal. Now, unfortunately, because the amount of bodybuilding magazines over the years that have come out with these training programs from bodybuilding pros, there's a massive distortion in the way people are training in comparison to what really is optimal for them. At the end of the day, adherence and consistency is always going to be better than the best laid plan kind of thing. So the worst plan performed consistently is always going to outperform the best plan performed inconsistently. But having said that, if I've got somebody who's average client, no apparent injuries or anything like that, mobility is all pretty much on par, then anything 2 to 3 times per week strength training for me is always total body work. Every session, work as many muscles as you can, large compound movements, so your movement patterns like squats and deadlift, hip hinge, trying to work as many muscles as you can. That's not talking about going into these weird and wacky fucking Bosu lunges and jumping things and all this other bullshit I see trainers doing. I'm talking about proper structured exercises, watching technique, and progressively overloading the weight, making the weights heavier and heavier, or the volume greater and greater over the sessions, weeks, months. That's the way I'd go, that way. Any more than 3 days a week, and then you can start to look at split workouts, be it upper, lower. You can look at push, pull, and lower. So you split those up across the days, depending on what you are working towards. And again, for the average person, in fact, even for those with physique aspirations down the line, getting in the big movements first. So again, your deadlifts, your squats, or variations of those, chin-ups, push-ups, bench press, dumbbell rows, all these kind of things. They're what I'd focus on there, on those kind of movements. So still the big movements and just watching the volume and recovery. I personally am training now 7 days a week, and I train total body every session, and that requires a lot more programming and a lot more thought process behind what you're doing, because there's only so much volume and exercises you can recover from in order to progress and keep progressing. So it's very much a different exercise selection in that way. Where's the sun going? There we go. But for the most part, most people will do best with total body or a upper lower for anything else. And hold on, another doggy. Your friend Duke, go on then. Go on. Okay, so I didn't actually get to finish off filming again because Duke was playing around and whatnot. But following on from what I was just saying about full body and split workouts and the big exercises that you need to choose, where so many people go wrong, and that's regardless of whether they're doing full body or split routines, is they fall into this old school bodybuilding mentality of a lot of isolation work, or just doing one body part a day. So they'll do chest one day, then they'll do back another day, quads another day, hamstrings another day, shoulders another day, then bis and tris another day. The average person, that's a complete waste of time, and you're just not going to get the kind of payback and rewards from that you will ever do from, you know, a properly structured, you know, using big movements kind of routine. And the way I look at it is like this. You know, you've got to determine what the goal is and what you're looking to do. Most people who are going to the gym are looking to be a bit stronger, a bit fitter, a bit healthier. They might not want to take it to any kind of elite level or anything like that, and that's cool. They just want to be functionally better as human beings. They want to look better naked, which is where the nutrition comes in, because I don't care who you are, everybody wants to look better naked. The way I look at it is like this. If you've got to look at what you're actually doing and the reward it's going to pay you off. Now, if I think of my little girl Isabella, she's only 4, and she wants to get in the car, and she would obviously love to be able to drive it, I'm sure. I'm dreading the day that actually happens. But for her, the easiest thing for her to do right now is to put the indicators on, which some Cape Townians could learn from her how to do. Put the hazard lights on and do the windscreen wipers, or put the stereo on. Very easy, very simple, but in the grand scheme of things in driving a car, it does fuck all. It doesn't get you anywhere. Now, you take the average person going to gym, and unfortunately, you think of them as that car, they don't know yet how to use that car. So all they end up doing is tricep kickbacks, bicep curls, dumbbell lateral side raises, these tiny little exercises with small weights which just do not provide any kind of bang for their buck. And I see the same people day after day and year after year. I mean, I go back to Virgin to do some rehab at the moment, and I see people I saw last in there kind of 6 years ago looking exactly the same, doing the same exercises, and it's because they still don't know any better. This is where I think places like Virgin Active fall down massively, but that's another topic altogether. Maybe I'll cover that another time. These people need to invest in themselves and in terms of the learning process, the same as they would in terms of learning how to drive a car. They need to learn how to squat, how to deadlift. They need to learn the bigger movements that will complement the training, that will help with their results, and in the long run will make their overall progress that much better. And because their progress is better, their adherence will be better, which again means the long-term results are better, and you then get this positive cycle rather than the traditional vicious cycle or negative cycle or whatever, where people go to the gym for a while, they kill themselves doing these stupid ass BOSU things and tiny weights with bicep curls and tricep kickbacks, and they don't get anywhere, and they fall off, they binge, and the cycle starts again. So people need to invest in themselves to learn the basics properly, and from there is where they will get their biggest rewards. So big movements, full body workouts, or push-pull lower or upper lower, those are the ways I'll do it, and that, if you keep consistent with that with a good nutrition plan, will pay off in the long run, head and shoulders above any other kind of approach.